Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Caroline Kenningham and you're watching CW News at 9. Well, fears that a local museum could possibly shut its doors were calmed tonight at a city council meeting. In Sherman, council members and staff with the Sherman Museum agreed on how to move forward with proposed budget cuts. Last week, Director Dan Steelman told us the museum could not afford to keep their doors open if their annual grant was cut. Now, the museum is a nonprofit, but the city gives them money to help with expenses. Their proposed budget would give the museum $50,000 instead of the $70,000 they got last year. Tonight, council members made it clear that their goal is to keep it open and work around the cuts.
They're going to get their funding of $50,000, but we're also, as a council, giving them the avenue to get creative, give us a plan that details your next year, and let's get creative with how to approach it.
Staff with the museum have 30 days to present their new budget plan. The annual grant from the city makes up 50% of the museum's budget. The other half comes from the museum's revenue and private donations. Accused burglars busted after police arrested two Ardmore teens. They say the pair stole thousands of dollars worth of items from homes and cars. CW News at 9, Brenna Arthur reports.
There were lots of lights on and lots of doors open, and someone had definitely been rummaging through my house.
This woman was one of several people whose homes were burglarized early Sunday morning, but she believes her home was targeted, since all of her belongings had been smashed to pieces and her floors covered with feces.
For some reason, they wanted to destroy my computers because they tossed them around like frisbees.
Ardmore police say they arrested two 16-year-old boys who had been found rummaging around the Champion Station neighborhood in Ardmore.
They went and were working the burglary while they're in the process of processing the scene. An alarm come in for another residence in the same neighborhood.
2 homes and 4 vehicles had been broken into between 1 and 4 a.m. Items like iPads and speakers quickly went missing. More than $2,000 worth of personal belongings gone.
I think I would say more to their parents of why aren't you tracking your children a little more carefully?
$15,000 worth of televisions, computers, furniture, family photos, all destroyed. One victim says the 2 suspects even tried to set their couch on fire.
We have a great town and things sometimes get out of order, and I just hope it don't get worse.
And that was Brenna Arthur reporting. Ardmore police say after what happened this weekend, they just want to remind everyone to make sure they keep their cars and doors locked at all times. A controversial display featuring 3 hangman's nooses in a tree along an Oklahoma highway has stirred up a lot of anger. A homeowner who lives along Highway 75 just south of Tulsa put up these 3 nooses in his front yard. Merle Martindale declined to go on camera, but he said off camera that he's been a crime victim lately, So he says he put up the nooses with a sign that reads, "I advise you not to hang around here after dark." Martindale says the display is not meant to be racist, but a warning to potential thieves. Some drivers, though, say that's not the message they're getting.
It's humiliating. It's discrimination. America shouldn't put up with it.
The sheriff says the display does not break any laws. Martindale's wife says that her husband has since taken the display down. Well, it was a chaotic day for officers in Bryan County after a hot pursuit and a shooting. One person was arrested and it was believed there to be more. Now police say they aren't sure if anyone else was involved, but neighbors still say they were shaken up. CW News at 9, Scott Martin reports.
He could be right out there in the woods, or he could be in wherever.
In the quiet rural part of Sawmill Road, people were woken up while multiple agencies were searching for a suspect deputies say is armed.
Trucks and the cars slowly coming up and down, back and forth. And suddenly I heard choppers off in the northeast.
Durant police were involved in a chase that ended along Sawmill Road. Police say one suspect was caught, the other ran away, leaving neighbors on edge.
I don't like crooks running around, you know, right in my front door.
Roughly 10 minutes later, police were called to the Alliance Health to talk to a man that had been shot in the hip. According to police, the man told them 2 men in a dark-colored pickup started to shoot at him and his passenger on Highway 6975. Police aren't sure if the 2 instances are connected, but those in the countryside aren't taking chances.
We are gonna lock and load.
I've got a loaded gun in the house. I just hope he don't show up.
For one neighbor, an armed person on the run opens up old wounds from a past experience.
I was gathering my eggs and they walked up behind me with a saw.
Until whoever police are looking for is caught, those living along this dirt road will stay on watch.
I'm an old man. I'm 75 years old. They ain't gonna do me like that no more.
And that was Scott Martin reporting. The man who was shot was treated and released. A heavy copperhead snake problem caused problems for police during that search. Police have not given a description on who they're looking for. They say if you see anything suspicious to contact local police. Business is booming in one part of Grayson County after a major bridge reopened. The Highway 91 bridge across Shawnee Creek in Grayson County has been back open since Friday. It was closed last spring after historic flooding washed away the road there. The weather also delayed construction on that project. Businesses say customers are unaware that it's finished.
The main comment we're getting is that they don't know that it's open. So we're informing them, and we're getting a lot of yays and a lot of excitement from the customers when we tell them, because they don't really know that it is open.
Businesses in that area say with less traffic moving through, their sales suffered this past year. Turning to weather now, a cool August evening here in Texoma. Meteorologist Sarah Spivey's in with a look at the forecast. Hey, Sarah.
Hey Caroline, we really will be dealing with much cooler conditions across Texoma over the next several days, with temperatures remaining below average for us. So even tomorrow morning we'll wake up with temperatures in the 60s. Right now we're seeing a little bit of rainfall throughout areas in Texoma, mainly to the east. We could see a few sprinkles, a little bit of cloud cover there along that stationary front. But by tomorrow morning, temperatures only in the 60s will heat up to about 87 degrees for the high, and a lot like today, we could see some more rain in the eastern areas of Texoma. Details for what you can expect for the rest of your work week, including rain chances, in the full forecast.
Much of Louisiana is underwater. Historic flooding claimed at least 5 people's lives and displaced thousands. Over the weekend, more than 20 inches of rain fell in and around Baton Rouge. And forecasters say more rain is on the way. Rachel Crane is in Baton Rouge surveying the damage.
This flooding is unlike anything the people in Louisiana have ever seen. The governor says thousands of homes that have never flooded before are now underwater.
It's been difficult to get people to leave their homes because they think that they're safe, but you can throw all of the experience out whenever you break the records as we have in Louisiana.
Over the weekend, more than 20,000 people had to be rescued from their homes and their cars.
Oh my God, I'm drowning.
We're coming.
But when disaster strikes, the human spirit prevails.
First instinct was just to get a hold of her and pull her out. And couldn't do it from the boat, so I just jumped in. Took a deep breath, held it, and just kept feeling around. And eventually I felt something furry and yanked the dog out, and luckily the dog was still conscious.
The governor expects disasters to be declared in nearly half of the state's 64 parishes. But more rain is forecasted to fall, which means more potential for problems.
It was going to be bad, but we didn't think it was going to be nothing like this.
In Baton Rouge, I'm Rachel Crane.
Kids across Texoma are enjoying their last few days of summer vacation as the first day of school is right around the corner. But for kids in the Plainview School District, that day was today. Here is more from that first day of school at Plainview Elementary. Smiles filled the hallways and classrooms Monday morning bright and early as kids at Plainview Elementary headed back to school for the first day.
It's been a very smooth day. Our teachers have worked hard and prepared up to this point, and we just had a wonderful day of our parents bringing the kids in and getting them settled, and we've had a wonderful day.
Principal Lisa Moore says each year kids and teachers come back from summer break with a clean slate, ready to go and eager to learn for the new year.
All of our children are going to grow and learn and progress at the rates that we want them to. And we also are aspiring to be a Great Expectations model school again this year.
Second grade teacher Tina Piles says she has one mission in mind for the new year.
For each student to grow as much as possible. So wherever they start, my goal for them is to learn as much as possible and to have confidence. That's a big goal of mine, is for them to feel like that they can do anything.
And that confidence is what has second grader Zoe ready without the back-to-school jitters.
Well, my brother had this teacher, and so he told me a lot about her, and that she's really fun, so I'm just excited.
Other Oklahoma districts will go back throughout this week, and Texas kids will head back to the classroom starting next Monday. Straight ahead on CW News at 9, a warning from a Texas mother tonight after her child drowned in a pool, what she says to other parents. Plus, the new trailer for the new Star Wars movie is making a huge impact online. We'll show you how. And Sarah's back with a full check of the forecast when we return. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Caroline Cunningham and you're watching CW News at 9. The Love County Sheriff's Department has a new leader tonight. The sheriff's scandal forced county commissioners to name a new lawman to take over the department. Current Undersheriff Harvey Stewart takes over on an interim basis. He has 24 years of service with Love County. CW News at 9 Brenna Arthur has more.
Love County commissioners held a special meeting Wednesday morning to appoint a new leader after Sheriff Joe Russell suspended himself on Monday.
The appointment will be for Harvey Stewart, the undersheriff, to fulfill this vacancy.
Undersheriff Harvey Stewart, a 24-year law enforcement veteran, was named interim sheriff.
He's pretty knowledgeable in what's going on and what's happening and everything. I think he'll do a good job.
I'll just have a little more responsibility, you know. Of course, it's not a whole lot different from being under sheriff anyway, so we just go on with it.
County Commissioner Bub Peary says Stewart will stay in the interim position until Russell's trial is over, or until December, when Marty Grissom will likely take office. He has no opposition on the November ballot.
I think Harvey's a good guy, and I think that I think he'll do well. I think that, you know, he's got Love County as his best interest.
Sheriff Joe Russell made an appearance in Wednesday's special meeting to make sure the county understood the ground rules of his suspension.
By me putting myself on suspension with pay, that's a law that I have to be paid. And I just have to be brought out that it is a law.
And that was Brenna Arthur reporting. After speaking with residents in Love County, they say they hope by appointing Harvey Stewart as a new leader that positive changes will be made throughout the community. A Marshall County woman is behind bars tonight, accused of using counterfeit cash. Kingston police say she spent the funny money all over town, and now police just hope the bogus bills are out of circulation. CW News at 9, Sarah Williams explains.
Very shocking, because we've been open 5 years. That was the first time.
The Subway in Kingston was just one of 6 businesses that got stuck with counterfeit cash. Some bills even passed an in-store marker test.
That's what pays our wages. And if we're getting counterfeit bills, well, our wages can't be met.
34-year-old Cassandra Allen was arrested at her apartment in Kingston on charges of possession of counterfeit money and drug paraphernalia.
Make sure your employees are trained of what to look for, you know, the feel of money, what distinguished marks are on the different denominations.
Officers say Allen was washing the ink off of $1 bills and printing almost exact replicas of 100s on the paper. They only lacked a watermark.
It's amazing that people will take advantage of a small business.
Stephanie Johnson says she received one of the bills when she got cash back at the Super C store, then almost got into trouble when she used it to pay rent.
It was frustrating because we faced eviction because of it.
It wasn't until the cash was taken to the bank that the fakes were discovered. And after reviewing surveillance videos, Allen was arrested and booked into the Marshall County Jail. And that was Sarah Williams reporting. Police say Allen will likely face prison time, and the Secret Service could be involved later into the investigation. A crime against a church has police in White searching for burglars and asking for help. Police say someone broke into the First Baptist Church in the 200 block of Walnut Street and stole thousands of dollars worth of equipment. CW News 9 Scott Martin has a story.
The First Baptist Church of White is like a second home to many of its members.
Used to, a church was a sacred place and, you know, a place of peace. And
and now somebody's come in and broke everything. And
late Thursday, police say they believe more than one person broke into the church and stole 4 electric guitars belonging to the youth group, totaling around $2 grand. 2 of the guitars belong to Loretta Carter's son, one of them a one-of-a-kind.
Blue Jackson V, and can't hardly find that anywhere, and you know, it's pretty rare.
At the time of the burglary, the youth group was away at church camp, and rather than holding a grudge, the church says they're praying for the ones who committed the crime.
These are just material things, and the people that did this, their souls are eternal.
The church forgives the people who took from them, but police say the law is the law and there will be consequences.
All the churches around here are very active in the community, and for someone to break into the church and vandalize and steal is absurd.
For her son's sake, Carter is hoping the equipment is found and returned.
If somebody's seen that guitar, it'd be really appreciated if they would let the police know, because it's a sentimental value to my son.
That was Scott Martin reporting. Police are also looking for information on a vandalism along Rose Hill Road at a concession stand. Anyone with any information on these crimes is asked to call the police department, or you can remain anonymous by messaging them on their Facebook page. Looking to weather now, a hot August day here in Texoma. Meteorologist Joe Puma is in with a check of the forecast. Joe?
Yeah, that's right. It was certainly a very hot day today. It is the first week of August, and it's certainly feeling like it outside. Taking a look for your Texoma Thursday, we can see the 77 degrees as you head in, so a warm start to the day. We'll see those temperatures rise to 101 by 5 p.m. with the heat index, that combination of heat and humidity, making it feel like 106 degrees. Is there any relief in sight? I'll tell you the answer coming up.
For those living in Savoy, if you ever plan on leaving town, you can just ask your police department to keep an eye out on your home. The Savoy Police Department has been providing routine patrol for quite some time now, but say many of its residents still doesn't know about the service. They're now trying to get the word out through social media in their new security check forms. You can pick up the forms at City Hall, fill out the basic information, and then the department will check on your home once or twice a shift during your time away.
It's a free service we offer, and it's not that we're having a lot of problems in town, because we're not, thank goodness, but it's just something a little extra we can give the community, and when they go out of town, that little bit of peace of mind goes a long way.
Officer Harrell says neighboring police departments, including Bells and Whitewright, also provide the same service. Texomans are continuing to back the blue. This afternoon, the Hanging Tea Shop in Denison was in front of Denison Police Headquarters selling their shirts that support fallen officers. This started after the attack on Dallas Police last month. The Texoma T-shirt shop doesn't have a total amount of sales done so far, but say they've already raised more than their goal of $10,000. They say it's been rewarding to help those who protect and serve.
I think it's awesome. I started the week we started this, and I never knew I was going into something so big. It's awesome, really.
They will continue to sell the shirts for $15 through the 12th of this month and will deliver the proceeds to the Dallas Police Association next week. First responders in Dallas are asking for better pay. This morning, hundreds marched from the Dallas Police Association headquarters to Dallas City Hall. They packed into the City Council chambers to silently protest during their meeting. The group didn't address the council, but want members to know it's about more money.
None of us are doing this job to get rich, but at the same time, it does feel good to be valued by not only the city leadership, but our community as well.
Following the July sniper attacks on the Dallas police, the Dallas city manager said he would work on a budget shift to dedicate tax dollars for police. Now, the budget is on the council's agenda next week. First responders say they'll be back to speak at that meeting, where they'll ask for a 5% pay raise every year for the next 3 years. A Texoma sporting goods store made back-to-school shopping easier for some Grayson County kids. They gave 30 children from the Boys and Girls Club of Denison a $100 gift card for all their back-to-school needs.
It's that time of year again where kids are getting ready to head back to school, but for some parents, sending kids back to the classroom means pain on the pocketbook.
We know that we have kids at the club that can't, financially are not able to, a lot of times, to be there.
But thanks to Academy, local kids were able to get some of those back-to-school necessities Wednesday, free of charge.
I was really happy because
$100. I usually never get any money getting $100, but I got $100 and I just wanted to get some football stuff and a Camelback.
You want to try them on? Here, let's sit down and try them on.
Academy employees raced through the store with the kids to grab all of the hot items they could to ensure they're ready for the new school year.
They're ecstatic when they finish shopping and realize, oh, I get to take this stuff home. I wasn't just playing it. It's magical. The smile is awesome.
8-year-old Jericho Heineman says he's never ready to see the summer end, but this year he says he's ready to go back to the classroom.
I got some blue football cleats, blue football gloves, blue school shoes, and a blue Camelback.
But going back to school this year will be anything but blue for these kids.
And we just thank God that we've been blessed to be a part of this.
80 other Academy locations nationwide are doing the same thing this year. Academy says it's just their way to show the community that they care. Straight ahead on CW News at 9, what one Oklahoma organization did for teachers just in time for the new school year. Plus, how one little boy in Texas is showing his appreciation for the men and women in blue, one sip at a time. And Joe's back with a full look at the forecast when we return. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Caroline Cunningham and you're watching CW News at 9. The city of Denison will soon welcome a new business into town. A gun shop is set to open up in the downtown area. CW News at 9, Michelle Choi is in the studio with more. Michelle?
Yeah, Caroline, work is still underway for the new business, appropriately called Denison Guns and Silencers. We spoke with the owner today who says he's looking forward to being part of the growing downtown region.
For the last several weeks, an historic building in downtown Denison has been getting a major makeover.
Beautiful old building, but it really needed some TLC.
Owner Brian Gaston has been providing that tender love and care to transform this old brick structure into a gun shop.
We had to start from the ground level up, from redoing, it's concrete slab, redoing the flooring, retexturing the walls.
A retired U.S. Army colonel, Gaston has always had a passion for firearms. He's been running a gun wholesale business in Oklahoma for the last 10 years.
Oklahoma's a great state, love Oklahoma, but when it comes to firearms, you can't do better than Texas.
His Denison shop will be his first retail business.
I like the Denison community, the downtown area here, the historic side of it.
Located off of West Woodard Street, the soon-to-be Denison Guns and Silencers will cater to customers interested in tactical firearms.
We felt it was something we could offer to the community. Law enforcement, they need a source to buy firearms to supply the department and things like that. And once again, folks who are more interested in self-defense.
The store will also sell suppressors, Texas being one of the 40 states where silencers can be sold.
It's like putting a muffler on a car. Gun's pretty loud. Whenever you're shooting, you want to protect your hearing, so it's something we really believe in strongly.
And while the ongoing gun control issues continue to be a hot topic in the nation, Gaston says the community has responded positively.
I think any new businesses for Denison is good.
I think everybody should own one or two, and to protect their family and, their property.
I think all business, gun shops and all, is a good thing.
All part of the excitement and the ongoing growth in the heart of Denison.
We're excited to get into operations and get to know the community and dealing with everybody in Denison.
The new gun shop is currently waiting on their federal firearms license, but is expected to open their doors in the next month. Reporting in the studio, Michelle Choi, CW News at 9.
Texoma Sheriff was back in court today. CW News at 9. Sarah Williams was there and has more.
No stranger to the courtroom these days, Carter County Sheriff Milton Anthony was back before a judge Thursday morning. In a packed courtroom, Anthony's attorney told Judge Carson Brooks his client wants to have a preliminary hearing. That's when the judge will decide if there's enough evidence to go to trial. Judge Brooks set that hearing for September 6th.
The court's going to figure it out eventually, so. I guess only time too, so.
Anthony was suspended last month after he was indicted by a multi-county grand jury on charges of bribery and sexual battery. A female jail employee claims he gave her husband a job in exchange for sexual favors. And another employee claims Anthony touched her inappropriately. While people who live in the county have different opinions on the case, most agree they just want it all over.
It takes too long because we're wasting the taxpayers' money going to court and everything.
It's taking too long. It's like, he's just buying his time and, just need to get rid of that guy.
Others upset that he's on paid suspension.
Sit at home in their luxury air conditioner while the rest of us are out working for a living. It's just ridiculous.
That was Sarah Williams reporting. Anthony is set to be back in Carter County Court on September 6th. An arrest warrant is out for the son of a Bryan County lawman. 22-year-old Dalton Hauser failed to show up for his court hearing on drugs and weapon charges. A judge issued a bench warrant for Hauser. He is the son of Durant Police Chief David Hauser. Court records show Hauser was arrested last September after a Bryan County deputy stopped a car he was riding in. Deputies say they found cocaine and a gun in that vehicle. Back in March, tribal police arrested Hauser, and they say he had meth and marijuana on him. A group of people barged into a dance studio as they were being chased by police. The staff was forced to rush a group of kids into the studio for safety. It happened in Edmond, Oklahoma. Kristen Shanahan reports dash cam video shows the scuffle between an officer and one of the suspects.
Is this 911? Yes. A frightening day for those here at Studio J of Dance when intruders barged in and started throwing stuff onto their shelves.
They walked into the dance studio. They walked right into a room with our littles, and then a police officer came running in.
Is everybody okay in there? Does anybody need medical attention?
I think they just scared everyone. I just locked all the girls down in another room.
A group of young girls hiding in a room while a scuffle ensued. The Edmond officer tangled up with Yohanker Paradela Motoru, trying to handcuff him.
They get into a physical fight inside the dance studio. He's trying to leave, so he's trying to wrap up his legs to stop him.
The assault on an officer caught on dash cam video. The suspect drags the officer out of the business while kicking and punching him in the face.
At one point, trying to wrestle him for his gun off of his waistband.
The suspect's car takes off, nearly hitting them. The backup officer jumps in to help. Then, a Good Samaritan rushes over, helping police take the suspect to the ground.
This video shows you, it's the prime example of how quickly something happens and can escalate. And we're very thankful for the citizen that jumped in. We don't normally encourage people to jump in the middle of police work, but this guy knew what he was doing.
The initial responding officer suffered a few cuts on his arms and face.
The officer's bleeding, his mouth cut up in his...
But luckily, no one was seriously hurt.
Police say the suspects went into the dance studio as they tried to hide stolen wallets and dozens of stolen credit cards. The man police arrest is in jail on a $200,000 bond. Police are still looking for the other suspects. Looking to weather now, it looks like a hot weekend ahead. Meteorologist Joe Puma's in with a check of the forecast. Joe?
Yeah, that's right. It is indeed going to be another hot weekend here in Texoma. We've been hearing a bit of power issues around the area right now. That's because all those air conditionings can really put a stress on the power grid. But taking a look for Texoma Friday, we made it to the end of the week. 101 degrees is going to be that high temperature. But with that combination of heat and humidity, it's going to make it feel close to 106 degrees. We are tracking rain chances coming in here for next week. I'll detail those coming up.
Sherman is buzzing over a new bee ordinance. Homeowners with at least an acre of land can now keep bees on their property, and some say the bee ordinance is a honey of a deal. CW News at 9 Rebecca Lex explains.
Bees have been real calm.
Calm usually isn't the word you would think of to describe bees, but that's exactly what beekeepers in Grayson County say about this colony of honeybees.
These have been pretty nice bees. If not, you'd know it real fast.
You may be sticking your hand into the right pot of honey. If you've always wanted to be a beekeeper, Sherman City Council passed an ordinance allowing people living on 1 acre of land to have beehives.
I think it's a good thing because the way the ordinance read before, you couldn't have bees, period, in town.
Charles Adams spends his time on the outskirts of Tom Bean raising bees.
It shows that the city is actually working with the beekeeping community.
And beekeeper Sam Cherry works throughout Grayson County, educating others about bees and hives.
We need bees to get by. Without them, we don't eat very well. So everyone's wanting to do their part, and I think this gives them a great opportunity to do that.
When approaching honeybees, it's important to stay calm. Otherwise, they may sense you as a threat and attack you.
The city says they believe in restoring rights to private property homeowners.
I do know that quite a few people have been operating and keeping bees illegally, so this is just a great common sense approach to an ordinance like this.
Some people who are living inside city limits say that they're already looking into all the buzz. To learn more about beekeeping, just head on over to our sister station's website at k10.com. Future firefighters in Pushmataha County are asking for help from the community. A group of fire explorers from Antlers are hosting a fundraiser this weekend to get enough money to buy some equipment. CW News at 9 Scott Martin has more.
As kids, these fire explorers remember playing with toy fire trucks. Now, as junior firefighters, they're playing with the real deal.
We help the fire department, put out fires, help learn, do different classes. Water rescue, all sorts of stuff.
There's a group of 7 fire explorer brothers. This weekend, they're taking a dip.
How's that water feeling?
Warm. In the water to raise money for brand new fire gear.
They need around $10,000 so they can get new bunker gear, new supplies, and they're well on their way.
Their passion and dedication to become future hometown heroes is something that touches current Antlers firemen.
It's amazing. It helps humble us a little bit, and to be able to teach somebody else and just to see them grow.
For one fellow fire explorer, fighting fires is just the family business.
My dad is captain of the ladder truck.
His dad couldn't be more proud.
It's amazing. You can't explain it. He's a really great kid. My daughter even is doing it now.
Not only are these guys getting in-field fire training, but they're taking classes on other types of rescues, learning what it takes to become a future firefighter.
I like helping my community and doing things for other people. That's what I enjoy.
Serving those in their hometown is what this group says they were born to do.
The group will be out taking donations through Sunday. This is just the first of several fundraisers for them to meet their goal of $10,000. While some students are shopping, others are registering for classes. This afternoon, Grayson College in Denison held its One and Done event, where new students can get help signing up for classes. Besides new students, returning students met with counselors and wrapped up loose ends this afternoon.
Oh, it's always exciting. You always have a new crop of students that come in all of the time, and they always have different ideas, and they bring so much to the campus, and we're always happy to see them. So this is a great opportunity, like I said, for them and for us.
The fall classes begin at Grayson College on the 22nd. The last day to register for classes at Grayson is August 18th. Straight ahead, tax-free weekend is almost here. We'll break down what you can expect this weekend while you're out and about. Plus, a statue catching all the attention of residents in one town. We'll show you why. And Joe's back with a full check of the forecast when we return.